Good evening, all of you. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Today, this session is organized to help you to do your group project, and for those who are doing it using C Sharp. So, today, the resource person for this session is Mr. Ahmad Ashfaq. He is a senior student at ATI Naivala, and currently he is working as a software engineer at Twire Private Limited, and he's quite good in technologies such as C Sharp, .NET Core, SQL, Azure, React, and many more. So actually, he is a good example for you all. Now he is in a very good position in the industry. So you can see that SLIAT is actually laying the foundation, and if you have the skills and motivation, you can reach a good position in the industry. Ashfaq was a very good student when he was at the ATI, and now he is in a good position in his career. So I will hand over the session for him to continue.
Well, thank you, madam. Thank you so much for the intro. And hey, guys. Hi, how are you all? How are you guys doing? Any thumbs up will make me feel good. Okay, cool, no problem. So, hope you guys have a good, weekend today. So, sorry for interrupting. Actually, I wanted to do this in weekdays, but madam also requested me to do in weekdays, but I wasn't able to do because of the workload and all. So yeah, hope you guys have all already know about C Sharp, and madam would have explained you guys in the module. I hope all related to .NET Forms application or Windows Form application, whatever you want to call, you can call. So yeah, that's it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go like this. So hope you all know the basics. Adam, these guys know, right? Creating forms like labels, text boxes, those stuff they know, right?
Yes, they know that.
Okay, cool. So yeah, and double OP concepts.
Huh? No, they don't have much idea about that.
All right, cool. I have already prepared a small application for you guys to go through it. So basically, it has three kind of stuff. A very basic way or very basic flow, and quite some advanced flow which involves double OP concept in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain you all the first flow, which is like the basic flow, and yeah, hope you guys can catch it. It's basically like creating a small CRUD application using .NET Forms. So we're going to use the database SQL Server Management Studio. So the SQL will be the database language, and yeah, you guys are familiar with SQL? If anyone can say yes or no in the chat, or even if you can raise your hand, it would be much helpful for me to continue the session. Okay, cool. So I take this as a no from you guys. So hope you all at least know MySQL. You know MySQL, guys? Yeah, thank you so much. Whoever is 61, thank you so much. So I hope you all know MySQL. So SQL is also similar to that. So there's nothing much different between MySQL and SQL. Pretty much the structured query language is going through this stuff. Basically, what do we call, the company is different. Like you can take like that. The company is different, and in SQL you can do quite more than MySQL. So basically, you can do, but the speed wise, SQL is better than MySQL. So that's why C# by default comes with an SQL database, SQLite database. So if you create a small application using what do you call, ASP.NET Core, for example, a web application or a desktop application, they would recommend you guys to use SQL. So hope you guys also do the same. So because it is the industry standard as well. So you can ask like anyone. So who is doing .NET, 75% they will say like they are using SQL Server as their database. So yeah, I'll share my screen and show you guys what's going on within my screen. Yeah. So hope everyone can see my screen. So yeah, this is what I was talking about regarding the SQL. And yeah, so yeah, this is how we do collaboration. So for now, just ignore these steps. So what you need to do is, first of all, if you guys want to create a database with SQL, first of all you need to download the SQL Server, and after installing the SQL Server, it will ask you to install the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, which is the IDE to manage SQL. So it is pretty much like a workbench. You can MySQL workbench, so it's pretty much like that. So right after that, what you need to do is you need to press on this connect button. So this is like a basic wire button. You press on that, you will see the default SQL server name which your computer has, and default authentication method. So keep it like Windows authentication method, and just hit connect to connect the server. So that's how it connects to the server. Right after that, you can like create databases from here. Just go here and look on database and blah blah, whatever the name. It's okay. It will create the database. So I'm just going backwards. So instead of showing you guys the UI works and all, I'm just going to do the backwards to understand, the basic structure of the application. This would help you a lot. This is not going to take a long, so we'll be finished in 10-15 minutes, not even 10, so 5 minutes. So this is like the database we just created. I'll show you how to create a table. So if you like maximize the plus, press on this plus button, it will show all the options it has. So pretty much everything. These are like other stuffs related to what we call advanced stuffs. So you can pretty much focus on tables for now. If you expand the tables, it will show you whatever the things it has. So this is also pretty much advanced. So no need to go inside that. So how to create a table from this is you need to press right and create new table. So whatever the table names you can give, ID and data type int, allow null or not. No, I'm not going to allow null. So I want to make this as a primary key. So I'll right click on this, insert as primary key. And I want this ID to be auto incremented. For example, if you make a database transaction, or for example, add new record, it will automatically add the ID as 1. So that's how the auto increment works. So if you go on to the next record, it will keep on adding the next numbers, 1, 2, 3, it will go on. So in order to do that, you need to first of all select the field, and first of all make it primary. So I have already made it primary. I'll show you one more time. Set it primary key again. Then go down below, and there's a stuff called identity specification. So you can expand that, and you can see there's another field called is identity. You just double click on it, it will change it to yes, which means you have successfully enabled the auto increment option in the table. So that's how you do that. And then, yeah, you keep on adding fields, column names. Watch, so it is same like, what, our workbench, MySQL workbench. So please try this because this will help you guys to, go when you go inside industry, for example, for the internship and all, most probably they will have either SQL Server or else, what do you call, NoSQL, database. NoSQL database means MongoDB, those kind of databases. So these two are the very, I would say, is the most standard way of companies doing their databases. So they have, they are like still companies using MySQL and MySQL Workbench there, but companies are like reconsidering their database architecture and the environment and changing to SQL because now the SQL is, managed by Microsoft. Since that the, credibility of Microsoft has shifted this SQL, name into industry a bit more than, MySQL. So that's one reason. And the other reason is it's like much easier when you get used into this rather than using, Workbench. So I would suggest you guys to try this as well. So yeah, so this is how you guys add fields, and you just hit this save button. It will ask you the table name. You can give like student, whatever the table you would like to call. So student, press OK, and you close down everything you do. And if you go into database tables and refresh, you will be able to see the student table. If you press select top 1,000 rows, it will show the top 1,000 rows. But if you don't, you show all the rows, like you can do the basic SQL query, select all that thing. So yeah, that's it for the database, I think. So you can see this is how we create database and stuff. So next I'll move on to, Visual Studio. So yeah, hope you guys all have installed Visual Studio. Can anyone say yes or no to the answer? Have you guys, installed Visual Studio already? Or else have you guys started Visual Studio, like started your projects in Visual Studio? Just one person is enough. If you can say yes, I can continue. All right. Okay. Thanks. Number 30. So yeah, hope you have all installed Visual Studio and started to work. So Visual Studio is pretty much the IDE. So where we gonna have all kind of projects we're gonna build is gonna inside the Visual Studio. Visual Studio has vast variety of projects based which we can build. So Windows Forms is one of the projects we can build using Visual Studio. Apart from that, apart from Windows Forms, we can use what we call Visual Basic for web projects, so ASP.NET application, even mobile application in games. There are lots of stuff you can build using Visual Studio, and I have already requested Dishan Madam regarding the development stack you guys are going to use. So, which means the development stack is based on the project you guys select. So they said, she said, like you guys are using, you guys are going to build Windows desktop applications, right, for the project. So yeah. Then there is only option is to use Visual Studio for now. If you guys go into advanced, advanced levels, you'll be able to use other IDs as well. So yeah, so this is the project that I have already created for you guys. So yeah, so in order to create a project, you just go into File, New, or if you start Visual Studio Fresh, to show you guys create a new project. So you can press New in Project, then you can choose those. Sorry, Windows. So it will give you the Windows Form application here. So this is pretty much what you guys need. Please don't choose any other options. So the difference between Windows Forms app and Windows Forms app .NET Framework. Uh, this one got .NET Framework inside this. So the code which you are going to do in the Windows form is pretty much straightforward most of the time. C# codes without any frameworks and all. So I assume you guys already know about what framework is. So yeah, the Windows Forms app, this one got a .NET Framework inside that. So pretty much .NET Framework, it's like you have like whole bunch of code written in C# or whatever the language, for example, say PHP or anything. But when it comes to a framework, it is like uh, what we call it, a building block. So you have small plastic pieces, so which is going to be your normal codes, the core code. When it comes to a framework, it is going to be building blocks. It already has some features like adding database, adding stuff to database, connecting the database, so making inheritance, those kind of stuff, the advanced stuff. They have already built inside the .NET framework or whatever the framework. Since this is C#, we have .NET Framework. If you go into Java, you will have Spring Boot. If you go into PHP, you will have Laravel as a framework. So yeah, it's kind of like that. So you have like building blocks built inside the frameworks. Yeah, since Madam said you guys need to be started from very basic. We are not going to use .NET Framework right now. I just gave an idea in order to skip this part. If you guys really need to work with .NET Framework, I highly suggest you to do that because that's the industry standard. Most of the companies use it. So now the standard is .NET Core. Actually, the .NET Framework is kind of outdated, but you guys will understand each and every .NET Core subject if you guys already know .NET Framework pretty much well. So there's no barrier to start either .NET Framework or .NET Core because it is like independent, not dependent in each other. You can go straight away and learn .NET Core, or you can just start from .NET Framework. So it's not gonna make much difference. It's the same. So it's all about your skills and knowledge you're gonna get from that framework. Yep. So that's pretty much about the framework stuff. So yeah, I'll go and create this Windows Forms app. And next, if you guys can do along with me, that would be much, helpful for you guys to understand the codes. So if you guys have two screens, just switch this Zoom call to another screen and do it in your other screen, the application and all. It will help you guys a lot. So yeah, this is pretty much where you want this project to be and all. And if you press next, it will show you the .NET version which you want to use. So I'm using currently .NET 6. So after that, it will create the project for you and will open up the project for you. So since I have already created the project, I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to close this. And once you've created the project, it will show like this. And yeah, this is how the project looks. So you need to be aware that these model, repo, and views, all these three folders will not be there because these files are created by me. So you will have pretty much like whatever the project name, the dependencies, and form one.ces something, and then program.cs file. That's it. What you guys gonna see in your new project, I think. So after that, what you'll need to do is you need to go inside the program.cs file. So I'm just going to go through from the basics. That's why I'm explaining each and every stuff for you guys. So this is where we start the project, which means this is where when we press the run button here, the project will, the Visual Studio will come and trigger this main method and start the project. So pretty much the main method, I hope you guys all know about the main method. Whatever the function is written under that main method, we will call inside the main method and run it. So that's when we will be able to see those functions or methods actual results. So that's pretty much the same like this is also pretty much same like that. So yeah, once we hit this start button, it will come and hit this project. Like the method here, this is the main. So this is where we initialize what needs to be done before our application runs. So this is pretty much configures the application, initialize the application, and this is where we tell the application to start the view from whatever the screen we want. For example, if you guys need a login screen, you create a login screen. You will call that login screen here. So that way, when you hit the application, it will trigger the login screen here. So yeah, that's it about the program.cs. So you will have more program.cs codes when you guys go inside the, if you guys deep dive inside the .NET framework or MVC.NET Core kind of stuff, you will be able to see more code related to program.cs. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now. And the folders. So Madam told me to introduce guys regarding the industry standard. So when it comes to industry standard, when we create a project in industry or even a freelance project, you just don't go and start with a new project and go on adding classes, and you won't do like that, because when it comes to a project, it needs to be scalable. Scalable means in future you need to be able to add more components inside your project, more features, more stuffs inside your project. And in industry, we are not going to stay in the same company for long. So if you wish, you can stay. If the guys in the company let you guys stay more, of course you can stay. But when you guys leave, whatever the codes you do, the new guy he's not going to understand. He'll be like coming into the project and he'll be like scratching the head all the day, thinking which CS file is which method exactly and all. So of course he can find out with debugging and all, but it will take time. For that, in order to break that barrier, we have a thing called project architecture. So when it comes to web applications and web projects or web software, as you can call, so you have like so many architectures. So the basic one is MVC architecture. You might heard of it, where we have model files and where we will have views files, where we'll have the controller file. That's what defines model view controller. So like that, you have many architecture in web application, like entire architecture, onion architecture. It goes on like this. So when it comes to industry, we choose whatever the other architectures except MVC architecture, because it is much basic. So like that, for Windows applications, we have architecture called MVVM, model views, view model, and whatever thing. I don't remember the word exactly. So it's kind of like that. For Windows application also, we have an architecture. So what architecture means is you need to sort out organize the project in a way where it's scalable in a lifespan or time span. So when it comes to scalability, you can like see when it comes to architecture, what we do is normally we'll create new folders and we'll add whatever the folder name it needs to be. We decide it with the whatever the file type we're gonna paste inside that folder. For example, when it comes to OOP, object-oriented programming, we have classes, right? For the classes, we have like models, and inside model means whatever the class you're going to build. For example, say a student class. A student class can have like first name, last name, ID, whatever the fields you want, and we call it as a model in industry. When anyone say model, it means it's a class. It's a class like a student class, just with its fields. First name, last name. That's it. So it's kind of like this. So you create a folder and you create a add new, and you need to go to code here and select class, and you need to provide the name here. Test. So we just created a test class. So when it comes to class, you know that we have a access modifier here, like public, private. So since we're gonna access this class throughout the project, we need to be needs to be a public class. So since this class is inside the models folder, which is we created with which we created with folder creation. So we are only gonna hold the class fields inside this models file. For example, public identity ID, string, and description, whatever the thing you need, you can add however you want. So this is pretty much which is going to represent your database as well. So inside the database, you will definitely have a table called test. For that test table, you will have these fields. So make sure when you're creating a model class, you always need to match it with your table. Whatever the SQL or MySQL or NoSQL MongoDB table, whatever thing you need to match with this. So that's how model classes works. So I'm just going through this to show you guys how the industry works. So if you guys really like to work with OOP concepts in your project, I would really highly suggest you to guys to go with the OOP concept. I'll also show you some samples of that, samples of codes, how we can do, and you can decide on how to use. It's a bit complicated and a bit hard, but it is really, really good to have a OOP concept implemented inside your project. So if you guys implemented OOP concepts and explained it to your madam during the Viva or presentation or not, they would really highly appreciate you guys, and not even appreciations, you will get more marks for that as well. So note down that if you have a paper or something, make sure to implement OOP concept at least for one class. For example, say if you inside your project, you for example a library management system. So inside the library management system, create at least a book class and use that class. And you using that class, please do database transactions and explain it to madam. She will definitely give you marks for that. So that's one thing how I was able to get more marks than other students in ATI. So forgive me for that, and I should not say like that, but it's how it worked during my time. So yeah, we used OOP concept and we got more marks for our projects, and yeah, we were able to get an A+ as well for the project. So that's how it worked, and that's how it works. Yeah, that's pretty much for the model class. And there's another stuff called views. I'm not gonna show you guys the repo right now. I'll just go inside the views. Views in the sense, so when you created the project, it will give you a form.cs file. So that form.cs file will be inside this, whatever, for example, say with dependencies, there will be another file called form.cs, and program.cs. That's how it's going to look like. But what I did was, instead of having all the views inside our main project root folder, it will make a mess in the end. You don't know which views file you got, and you don't know how to organize stuff and all. You will get messed when there's so much of screens. So in order to make that is, I created a views folder and put all the views inside this folder. So when it comes to Windows Forms, it's all about forms. So yeah, it's pretty much the same like adding classes. You just go and hit new item, add, uh, and you go here to the Windows Forms and add forms here. So it will be like form.cs. Thing, it will give you the design page where you can design it. So yeah, that's how it's going to be the form. So if you guys want to call this form when the project is started, as I said earlier, you go to program.cs, you just write down whatever the class name. So the class name of this form is form1.cs. So you don't need to type in the cs. So you just type in form one. It will automatically suggest you guys that form one is there, so please use it. So you can pretty much select that. So after that, you come here and you can put whatever the text you want. So I'll just so in order to put text, you have toolbox, right? I hope you all know the toolbox has all the features to put in and use those stuff. So I'll just call a label and put here a label. If you guys already know how to create these stuff, sorry guys, sorry for making this long, because Madam said there are students who don't really know how to create even a project. So that's why I'm teaching from scratch. Sorry if you guys already know about this. If you guys know about me, I'm still a learner, so forgive me for that as well. So yeah, that's pretty much the same. You add a label, and when you run it, since you have called this form.cs file as the main file, it will show you the this screen at the first when you run it. So please note down this step, because if you guys truly don't know how to call whatever the screen you created for the first screen, then this is how you do it. You go here, application by default, it's there, the application.run. This method is already there, so you just go here and do that. Yep, that's pretty much how you create and call a form. And yeah, now we'll dive bit we call a bit harder into the session, where we're gonna see how to create a form, a real form with fields and yeah, SQL connection and all. So if you guys are already doing the project along with me, you just go ahead and do add new and forms, name it as teachers view. So I'm gonna create a teacher front, so where we will be able to add and delete and update teachers views. So I have already created this, so I don't want to create it again. So I will cancel. You just go ahead and create. Then you will get a screen. So in that screen, you'll be able to see an empty screen there. Of course, like this, an empty screen. So what you need to do is, so in industry, so when it comes to a dashboard, for example, say whatever the project you download from GitHub or anything, so whatever the project you guys see in the post systems in Keels or others market you guys see, there's a navigation panel, right? Even in the websites, on top we have navigation, home, about, contact, those stuff. Like that, in desktop application also we have navigations. So for that, we don't know how to do that, and we don't know how to create nice UI for that. I'm also not a UI guy, I'm a backend guy, so apologize for the ugly UI that I have created right now. So what you guys need to do is, so this is how I did, but there are tons of ways you can create nice navigation UI in your desktop application. There are so many tutorials in YouTube. Just go and search that how to create navigation UI in my desktop application. C sharp, whatever thing you want to add, you can add like that. And yeah, it will give you the nice UI guys works. But for now, I'll stick into very basic UI. And you need to do what you need to do is, so you just go here and search for panel, which will give you a panel. So panel is pretty much like in web application, we have a div, right? Inside the div, we write all the fields, paragraphs, heading tags, and all. So it's like the div of a box of what do you call it? A box of border. Where we have 4 borders, and inside these 4 borders, we can put in whatever the stuffs we want, and we can nicely move around this, and we can even code this panel separately. So that's how panel works. So I would usually like to keep this in the panel on the left-hand side. That's how I have created this one. So what I do is I'll go to there's a stuff called in properties. If you click on this, and if you hit properties, you'll be able to see the bunch of properties related to this panel. So make sure I hope already you guys already know about the property stuff. So where you change the names, stars, the color, blah blah blah, whatever the change you need, you do there. So there's a stuff called dock in the properties. You just go ahead and see there's a nice way of arranging your panel here. So I use this one in order to make it to stick into left. If you use this one, it will stick into top. If you use this, it will middle, bottom, and right. So I'll use this. You guys can see it has moved to left side and aligned properly and set to left properly. Check that from color as well. So like blue, yeah, blue, blue. Something like this. And yes, after that, that's how you separate your actual forms and your navigation buttons in your screen. You have, as I said earlier, you have tons of ways to do your UI. So go through the video tutorials and do as how it shows in practice. So that's how it's going to bring you more UI ideas into your mind. So after that, you need buttons to navigate through your pages, right? So for now, you have like a form.cs page. You have a students page, which I have already created. Don't worry, guys. End of this session, I will give you this project file. So you can go around and see how stuffs work. If you guys haven't created anything yet, I highly suggest you to go along with me. If you guys don't have any, resources to check in this session and do the same thing parallelly, no problem. I'll give these files to you guys. You can go around and see how it works. Yep. So as I said, you need buttons to navigate through the pages. There are other ways as well to create navigations. So as I said earlier, please check in some tutorials because I'm not the UI guy. So Madam told that you guys don't really know how to navigate between pages. I'm sorry. So for that, I'm doing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a bunch of buttons and do some functions to that button, like function codes or method codes there. We're going to do some small codes, which will enable us to navigate to other page. So that's what I'm going to do. So I need a button now. So I'll just search the button. Try it here. Okay, once you're done with that, you can go ahead and change whatever the button names you want. For example, students, I want this button to navigate to students page. Sorry guys, not page, forms. So I'm a web application developer guy. That's why I'm using pages a lot. And yeah, That's why I'm also saying pages a lot. Ignore it for now. Just yeah, just and this is students button, and we need to provide a meaningful design name for that. What design name is? So this is in properties. You will see design. This is the design name. So in HTML, when you create a button, so you will add a ID, right, for that button. So for example, save button. If you created a save button, you'll create like ID equal double quote whatever the save button, and you write the JavaScript code to that save button, like on click that save button, alert, or do the database transaction, or make this design or animation. You do that, right? So that ID name. So this is like a basic small trick for you guys to note down. So that ID name is going to be this design name. So make sure to keep design names unique. Don't keep everything same. Just keep it unique. So that way it will make you guys much easier to work around in future with your applications. That's how it works. I'll just STD button, simple like this, and hit enter, which will save us the name. So we are good with that. So what we need to do is there's a thing called button click. So when it comes to Windows Forms application, everything is button. Now there is for example, say every transaction throughout the database or whatever the thing you name it, it has a button function. So that's why there's a feature called double click event in on top of the button, which will or navigate you guys to the code. So if you double click on button, you will see this is your form's code. So this is form one. Form one, you see it has inherited from form, which I don't know whether you guys really don't really know about inheritance or not. So yeah, just ignore it. So this is how it works. So this is the first place when you hit the form. When we see the form, this is the first place where where the form's code is gonna hit. So this form one will initialize the components based on this initialize component method. Every code you have done, every design you have done for this form one will appear to your eyes in the screen. So that's how it works. Now we have double tapped on this button, and it has given us the STD button click event, which means if you press the click, that button, it will do the code inside this. It will execute the code inside this click event. So in order to navigate between buttons, we have a small block of code, which is this block of code, which I have already created. So I'm not going to do anything from scratch. To say, say sometimes I'm just going to copy and paste. So yeah. So this is student button, student click button, whatever the button. So yeah. Now, when I press this button, I need to navigate my screen to. I need to show the student screen. In order to do that, you need to first of all, you need to create a student view. That's first thing. So once you created a student form, what you can do is you can come here and just type in the student, form name, whatever the student form name you created, and give something. So you need to create a class, create an instance of this class. So hope you also know about instance related to double. So if you guys don't know what instant is, so just search. So I'm going to drag it and let's say it about instant. So you need to create an instance of this class. So what you need to do is you need to create a blueprint of this class. So you can you have like that. You can name whatever you want. So nice thing about Visual Studio is it will suggest you guys you need to be written. After that, what you need to do is you need to take this instant, and there are a bunch of codes related to show and hide. So I want to show this student view. So what I want to do is I'm going to use this instant student view and dot show. That's pretty much it. This is will show the student screen. And after showing this, I want to hide this or close this form one. I don't want this form one to lay on in my screen anymore. So in order to do that, I'll do this, which this means pretty much this. This means whatever the thing you guys coding or whatever the form one, this is called this. So don't confuse it with that. This lost. Pretty much it's like a simple English word. I want this to close. So yeah, if you type in this dot close, it will close the screen and navigate us to student view. So we'll run and see how it works. So screen here shows the student button here. If I press run, it goes to student view. Sorry guys, I goes to my other screen. So it will show the student screen. So for that, you can do like that. So in order to do the database, I mean like the screen navigations, you can do. So as I said, I have already created. I'm going to call the whatever the created screen here at the start, which will give us the screen. If you navigate to this, it will show whatever the screen. So that's how it works. And hope you guys already know about how to create labels, how to create fields, and how to give field design names. And all. Are you guys aware of that? Do you guys know how to create fields and all, and put the ID numbers to that, and show text inside it, and get those text to the code and all? Do you guys know that? If you guys can give me answers quickly, I can also quickly go into the stuffs. Okay, I'll take this as yes, because yeah, yes sir, thanks, yes, sir. You can call me Ahmad. Yeah, and yeah. So that's pretty much it. So I'm not gonna touch that as well to save the time. I'm just gonna go ahead and explain you guys the save button, update button, delete, show, or close, and this data table, uh, all those stuffs. Are you guys okay with that? Is that enough? Because then we can wind up quickly. You guys happy with that? Another yes or something? Or do I need to show you guys from scratch how to create fields from basic? Or I can just go ahead and show you guys what code goes inside save button, update button, and how to connect database and all. Okay, that makes me feel a bit nervous. You guys said yes for the field creations and all. No, you guys are not saying just for the codes. Yeah, then what I'll do is I'll just ignore this part, and I'll explain the part in my code level. So in the application running. So it goes everything. Stop the project. So I have a screen called teacher view. So it's a bit. So there I have like a side panel and navigation buttons over here, and for these buttons I have like with the codings here as well. Like you need to create an instant, and from that instant you need to show that, and whatever the instant you are currently viewing, you need to hide it. That's pretty much the same like I told you guys earlier. So yeah. Apart from this, you have like a big label here playing around on top, which shows you guys what screen this is. And you guys have fields. I have like one, two, three, four fields. I have created these fields, and also I have created a teachers table as well in the database. So in order to create the database, I'll give you the script as well. This is a small script. And this is how you create table. I hope you all know about this. So you just create table, whatever the field names you need to give, and it's type. That's it. So this is field name, and this is the type you can hold, and this is the field name, and this is type. There are a bunch of ways how to create a SQL table and all. So this is one using the queries. And there's another way that I showed you guys earlier. You just go ahead and create like this, create new table. So I created like this, and I have already set up database, which is testdb. And you have a table called teacher. So inside this table, we have values, right? ID, name, salary. So those fields, I'm gonna use it here as well. So you can like, give an ID by, manually, or else you can keep like, auto increment in the database. So I didn't create the auto increment in the database. I forgot to do that. So I quickly had did a field and updated the ID as well. So whatever the ID you like, you can add. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You need to give meaningful names for these fields and make sure to give meaningful names in the design name as well, because this is where this is how we gonna get our field values inside our code, right? You guys, I hope you guys know about those stuff. So after that, you need to create a bunch of buttons. So I have created save, update, delete, show all, and close. So that's pretty much it. And there's another field, and this is called search. When you press search button, it will search you the whatever the ID you search here. And there's a data grid view as well. So the data grid view means the table. So how you can do is you can go here in box, search for data grid view, just drag and drop here, and just if you guys really need column names here, you can edit those as well. So I didn't do anything because I would show whatever the column names in the database. Yeah, that's how you do it. And after that, so I'm good with all my UIs. So what I will do is I'll first go ahead and create the save button. How do we code the save button? It's by double clicking it. So I'll double click the save button, and it will go create a new method called save button click, and it will have an empty method like this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a code here, which is going to let second, yeah, which is gonna which I would like to create as what I would like to create with save button is to obviously save the record of a teacher. So how would I do is I would first create a SQL string query. SQL query means, right, when you guys do an SQL insert, so you will write an insert query. So pretty much the same, you need to write in here. So how would you do this? So you will do this with a string data type and a string name. You can name this whatever you want, and you put a $sign here and a double quotation. And inside the double quotation, you need to write down the query you want to execute. So since this query is related to insert, which we need to insert the data of teacher into the table, we do insert into whatever the table name you have in your SQL or MySQL. Make sure to give this exactly how it's in the database, and you need to provide the values here. So values, 2 brackets, and each value should pass like this. So first value, I am going to put a single quote, and that value is going to be my ID, So I'll put a bracket here, two brackets, open and close bracket. And I'm gonna put. So I need ID to be added for this value as the first value. So I'll type in ID txt, which is my text value name, and text. Right. So if you want to make it string, you can type in string and put two brackets there. That's how it works. And yeah, that's how you guys put values. And that's, I think you guys know about this code block, right? How to get, what field, values inside your code. So this is how you do. You mention your design name of whatever the field and dot text or dot value. So value. Yeah, it's I think indeed text. Since it's a text field, it's going to have you text. If you guys have other type of fields like combo box or anything, I think you have some other stuff like selected item. Yeah, we have so much of like methods inside that. So which is going to bring you the field text. So like that, you'll put the others as well. Single quote, two curly braces, meaning text, and you just go on and add all the values you want to add. So once you are done with that, so this part is the most important part if you really need to connect to a database. So this CMD, I have already created this CMD. So this is a SQL command. So in order to do the SQL command, we need the SQL connection first. So this is called this is called Microsoft Data SQL Client. So this is a Nugget package. So I don't know whether you guys know about we call that MySQL. When you connect PHP, there is like con dot something like that, right? When you do PHP connection between that. So similar to that, you need a connection. You need a connection medium, or else you can say like a software code or a bunch of code which allow you to connect to your database. In order to access the database, you need to call this SQL connection and have it in a small object like this. Then only you can call. So in order to do that, you just type in SQL command. For example, say I'll just now you see there is no SQL connection in my system. So when you control plus dot, then you will be able to see a bunch of stuff. This means using. This means this is this is going to use the package called Microsoft Data.SQL client. So this one, I think since you have created a project from scratch, this one you won't be having in your project. In order to, I think it will show to install as well. If you guys don't know how to install from here, you can just go ahead to this dependencies in the solution and go to this packages and click right and press this manage nugget package. And here you can like search whatever the package you want. So this package name is Microsoft Data.SQL client. So you need internet for this, so make sure you have connected to internet. So after that, you need to select this Microsoft Data.SQL client. Please don't select System Data.SQL client. Use this Microsoft System Data SQL Center, and you can I think you can pretty much install whatever the versions you want. Depending on your .NET version, you can select that. So I have installed the latest one. So after that, when you come here and code SQL connection, it will automatically add this using unique command, and it will use the package Microsoft Data Skill Client here. So this is pretty much the same. This is for SQL connection, and this is for SQL command, which is going to be the query command. So make sure to create these two on top of the view form. So this is for constructor. Make sure to call this on top of a constructor or below, however you want. But don't put it inside any method or anything, which will make you guys it will give you a rise. Yeah. So right after you do that, make sure to create something like SQL connection in an object, SQL command and CMD object. Okay. So after you do that, you come to your screen, and this is your, just press on top of this, bar, whatever the minimize, maximize, that button you have on top of that, press and come inside your form, and instead of double clicking on any of the object or any of the fields, you just double click on your screen, whatever the full screen. When you double click on it, it will give you the on-load screen, which means whenever you load that screen, this method will hit first. So we need to do open the connection when we hit the screen. Then only we can make SQL connection and do the transactions. So it will hit this screen, and what you need to do is you have created a SQL connection object here and SQL command object here. So for the SQL connection object, you need to provide your connection string here, which is going to be your main stuff when it comes to database connection. So how you do is you just call in the object you created earlier and type in equal and type in new and type another SQL connection. And inside the bracket, you put a @ symbol and a double quote. Inside the double quote, make sure to put this connection string. So this connection string, I don't even exactly know how we need to figure out, how we need to be typing, because this one is from the documentation of, Windows Forms or C# or whatever the thing, because this is how we need to type in. So there is no other way than this way. So make sure to, note down this as well. As I said earlier, don't worry, I'm going to give you these files as well. So you just type in this data source equals means this is your server's name. Okay. So this is much important when it comes to everyone's laptop. So laptop or computer. When you guys install SQL Server Management Studio inside that, you guys automatically makes your computer into a server. So every server is different, right? Every IP address is different. So your computer is also different. So now the server is your computer with the SQL Server Management Studio. Then you need to provide your server name here. In order to get the server name, you just go into your SQL Server Management Studio and you will see something like this in here, right? You can just press right and go to properties. And inside the properties, you will have a field called name. Inside the name, you have your server name here. So you just copy that, paste it there. So make sure to do that as well. And the next important part, what you do is you put a semicolon after that. And after that, there's a thing called initial catalog. Initial catalog means the database name. So whatever the database name you need to connect, you need to provide that database name. Also, it is case sensitive. So make sure to, provide the database name correctly. So this testDB is created in camel case manner. So if you created the database with capital T, then you need to obviously come here and put capital T here. For now, I have created with simple T. I'll like it. And this one is also a bit important, because when you run the project, it is access your computer server, right? So your computer is kind of like a server now. So when it comes to server, it needs certificate, trust certificates, and blah blah blah. There's so much of stuff. So in order to save from those errors, so you just paste in this. This is also like a default thing provided by Microsoft. So make sure to do this as well. So after that, you have successfully created your connection between your database and the connection. So you have connection. Now you need SQL commands to execute, right? What you need to do is you have created a command object, right? Then you come here and create a command object here as well. So that way, when you load the project, the command object is also ready. You have a ready-made command object and a connection object. So now you have all the main two guys here. And the other one you need main is you need to make the connection for this SQL command. You haven't connected the SQL command with connection object here. In order to do that, that is another important step. You need to type in the command object here, and there's a stuff called connection method, and you need to pass in the connection string here, whatever the thing you need added here. So this is inside this object now. You just copy and paste the object here. This way, you have successfully made your database connection. So I hope you guys missed this. So the reason why I have already typed in is to save this time. If you guys need, you can tell how to create each and every object and for method name and more. So I can show you guys if you guys need. So can I get a yes or no for that? If you guys really need to see how these method names are created or not, it will take some time for you, both for you and me. So, but it will be useful for you as well. Do you guys need any assistance like that? Okay. I'll take this as a no, and think you also need to leave from this code. Okay, now we have successfully created our SQL connection when we load the project, when we load the form view. Okay, so now we'll come inside the save button, method. So inside the save button, as I said, you create your query, and after your query, you have already created a command object, and inside the command object, you have already created the connection and synced the SQL connection with the command object, right? Now what you need is, you need to pass in the command text, which is going to hold the query. So this command text is where you will have your query, and this will send the query to database and execute it on behalf of you. So you don't need to put your insert code inside your database. You just put cmd.command text and equal, and whatever the query name here, you pass it here, and it will automatically go inside the command object and have the command text as the query. After that, you need to open the connection. So without opening the connection, if you send any database, operations, it will not execute, because you, or for example, say you have built a wall around your house or a fence, and you have put a gate, and you have successfully made the connection between the wall and the gate, but you don't, in order to go inside the gate, you need to open it, right? See, pretty much the similar thing. You have created your connection string around your database or your project, and you have to open it in order to execute your queries. So what you do is you put simply whatever the object name you assigned it for SQL connection. So we have assigned it as con, and we just type in con.open, which will enable us to do the database transaction, which means it has opened the gate to do the transaction. After that, you will have the command to execute. Now you have the command object, right? Inside the command object, we have the connection string, whatever the database name we need to pass in, and the server names and all, and we have the query. Inside this command object, we have all. So what you need to do is, you need to provide cmd.execute query. which means this is not a query because query is stored inside this object. This object I need to execute it. So it will execute the query and connection string, which will enable you to, insert your data inside your table. So this is another method called clear data. Right after I execute this command, I don't want the records which I entered in the text fields to be laying around and visible anymore. So what I do is I create another method called another private method. It could be a public method as well. If you like, you can keep it public. So I just clear. I just want this ID text, whatever the fields, whatever the text file inside this to be clear. Name, address, salary, blah blah blah. Any field you need to clear. You just clear like this. So you can like put it here as well, but there is a stuff called in programming DRY, dry method. Do not repeat yourself. So which means you should not repeat same code again and again. So if you do the insert, you do this and clear all. And if you do this update also, you need to clear all the data from fields. Then you need to like copy and paste and do this again and again. In order to not to repeat again, what we do is we create a method. We put in this method codes inside this method, and we just call this method, which means us to save a lot of time as well as space. So you have now successfully sent the data and successfully cleared the data from the fields and all. Then you come here and close the gate. Once you go inside the database and do all the operations, please close it back, because otherwise some other stuff may go inside that. So which means other operations can occur inside this and give you error. So in order to prevent that, we open the gate and do the query, we close the gate. After that, you have another method called display data. So this display data method is, what do you call it? Another private method created by me. So this method is going to hold all the operations related to show the data inside the data grid view, which is the table. So this table has the name of data grid view 1. If you need to change this, just go inside the properties and change it. You know it, right? So it's the same for others. After you created that method, so what you do is you open the gate and you create a new SQL command, create command on with the CMD object, and command type is going to be text, and command text, whatever the query you want. I want to select all from teacher. So this is another way of creating the query. This is one way, and this is another way. That's why I said in the early, I think in the early hours, I said like I have like advanced way and basic way, right? So this is like a medium advanced way, I would say. There's another advanced way I'll show you it later. And this is like the medium method. Yeah, you just create the command and put in whatever the stuff here. So this way it's like more readable than this way. This way you don't exactly understand what it happens. This way you know, right, this command type is going to be text. The command text is going to be the query, and you just execute the query. And you just create a new object called data table. So this data table is already available in the Visual Studio. So make sure to call that as well, and call an instance and like create a blueprint of this as well with the detail. And then we create another instance called SQL data adapter, which we really need in order to show stuff inside data table. Then we pass in the command here. After that, what we do is we fill in this SQL data adapter object with this data table. So this way it will fill all the fields of the data table. After that, I need all these fields inside this data table, right? What I do is data, whatever the name, design name, and dot data source, and whatever thing you need to pass it. That's it. This way it will show the records inside there. And this is going to be the final one, which is to close the connection. So that's how display data works. Okay, so any doubts, guys? So as of now, I have explained the save button, how to create a connection string, and how to create a connection between data and insert query and display all. So I have taught you guys up to this level. Any doubts related to this thing that I have explained so far? If you guys can give an update or anything in the chat, then it will be easy. If you guys have any doubt, say yes. If you guys have please say no. Okay, yeah, I will take this as a no, and I'll go on with the session. Yeah, okay, cool. So we have the display data now. We have the insert also done. So we'll run and see how it goes. So in Visual Studio, we have a thing called debugger. So what debugger means, so it will allow you to debug your code easily. So now you see I have a save button in application, right? For the save button, I have a method inside my CS file, whatever the code file. So in order to see whether I'm receiving any data or when I press the save button, it triggers this method and all, I need to debug it. So in order to debug it, what you do is you just go to this method and you just come here to the left side of the screen, and in Visual Studio, you'll be able to see when you move around the mouse in this area, you'll be able to see a circle is coming. So when you press this circle to the straight, whatever the method name here, it will create a debug point in that name method, so which will enable you to debug the method. So after that, you just come here in the ID name. So when you hit this save button, it will come and hit this method. So see, it didn't go on to the project. It went inside this code, and it has hit and it has shown an error that we have to figure this method. So inside this, we have a save text call. We have a bunch of other useful stuff. If you guys really need, you can go with that. And inside that, we have other stuff. So we need to come and execute the query. Now it has created the query, and if you press F10 in your keyboard, it will come down each and every code block. So it will be much easier you to understand. So now we have created query. So now query has been created and set it to search results of blah blah blah. And if you press F10 again, you'll be able to see command text. As I said, we have created a command object. Inside the command object, we are storing this query inside the command text instance. So inside the command text, you see, we have stored the query inside this. So after that, we are opening the connection and we are executing our database operation. So the record has been executed. So if you go ahead and see in this Q1 table, so now we have only one record, because if I execute again, you'll be able to see two records here. And we need to close the connection and display data. So if you guys really don't want to see the debugger anymore, you just click on the debugger again. It will enable you to debug that. Then press continue, and you will be able to continue. So now you see we have added the second record as well. So yeah, I have added. I have showed you how to save now. Now I have shown also how to view the data inside this data table, and now I'll show you how to fetch data. So there's a thing called fetching. When we are fetching something, we means like we need to fetch a record with a certain age. How do we do this? Initially, we provide a ID number here and press search button. This will search as the in the whatever the thing we call the record. Yeah, it will give you the record of this ID. Like this, you can do search like this. If there's no record, then it will show like this. There is it will go like this. So this, I need to show you guys how to implement this dash. So first of all, you need to create a field called a search text of text field, then a button, and for that button we are going to do the coding. So we need to come here and double click the button again. Yeah, you need to double click the button, and it will come and show us this search button treatment. Inside here, we have a bunch of codes similar to insert. I have also added the code like this, similar to get all the data. I have also created this connection. You have opened, created the command object, and command type text. I want to be text. Command type text. I want to run this query. So hope you all know about select all from table name and where clause, where we put condition. So I have a condition called where ID equal whatever the given value there. So I have created the query like this. After that, we execute the query. There's a data table stuff going on here as well, as I shown you guys earlier in this display data. So it's pretty much the same, and we also show the specific record. So we need to show in the specific record. So we will show the specific record here. After that, we close the connection. So that's how we do the search button. And after that, I'll show you guys update. So for update, what you need to do is you need to provide the, so apologize for that. As I said earlier, I forgot to add the auto increment and I went on with creating all these stuff. Then I had to come to update method. So inside the update method, what you need to do is you need to provide the ID number here in order to update. Okay, so this bear with me. So that way you're gonna update the record. So how you want to do it, how update works is, so when you run, so I want the ID number to be this. So update, will update the, I won't like this. So it should be a bit dynamic. Forgive me because as I said earlier, I forgot to do that and second I have to go like this. So pretty much the same, but what I wanted to do, show you guys is, apart from the in the flow and all, the update query to show. So this is how update query works. Update, the table name, set, and the you need to provide all the column names your guys want to change. Whatever the column names you guys want to change, you need to mention. So the name column, you want the name text to be inside that, the address and the address. Yeah, if you guys can go on with whatever the field names you want. And main thing is where condition, where you will mention this ID of this text. This record should be updated, then only it will update that specific thing. Yeah, so it's pretty much the same. The delete also same, and select also same. So whole thing goes inside command object and closing, storing whatever thing you want. You can do it in with the query. So the delete method is also pretty much the same. If you press the delete button, it will select the ID. We need to provide the ID and press the delete button. It will come and create the object and close and do the new query and all. So that's how it works. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the CRUD operation of a basic, very basic, application form. So, and yeah, is there any doubts so far? Can you please, one guy or one friend can say yes or no? If you guys have any doubt, or just say yes or no, that's fine. Or if you have any, doubts related to your project as well, you can ask. No problem. You can ask that as well. So I thought we can have that session later. So if you guys need any assistance now, like related to your project, or if there's any queries related to your project, you can also raise now. We can create reports in Duster. Cool. That's a really good, question. So what you can do is, so reports is going to be basically a data record, a bunch of data table records, right? You can, what you do is you can write, codes inside a button. For example, say we have a save button, right? We can drag a new button here. Let me just show you. And you can pretty much give the report like this. You can have two date pickers, and you can say, I need a report of features who have been, created within this kind of date period. Then what you can do is you can create a button for that, and you can have two date fields here, and you can double click on that button, and you can grab the date field dates here. Okay, with two variables. Date from date to like this. You can create a variable like this. After that, what you can do is remember that when you guys work with dates, make sure to create a date column in your tables as well. After that, what you can do is like other queries. You can simply call select or from whatever the table name you want to from. Maybe DBO teachers, something like this. And if you have the field where all from the start date equals whatever the date, and in date, something like this, you can do a query here, and you can use that query and create a SQL command and retrieve that data. So that is one way. After retrieving that data, you can have like another option button here in the data table where you can download that report. That's I don't know how it works. Yeah, you can have it like that. So after that, what you can do is there is another thing called RDLC. Have you guys heard of that? So I'll show you this. RDLC means. So this is pretty much like, so in industry, we use RDLC to generate reports in desktop applications mainly. So this is pretty much a big whole scenario. This is pretty much advanced. If you guys wish, you can like go ahead and do this. So yeah, that's it for the report. There's another question. Can we make it to generate ID automatically when saving info? Yes, exactly. So as I said, you guys, so I forgot to create this ideas, this thing. So I just created this table right before the meeting. So that's why I didn't do that. Teacher, I don't know whether I can. So, listen, okay, also I'm here and do the same stuff. Okay, thing we are working now. Okay, so since we have records here, so delete all, delete everything from this. Let's see here. Come here and go. This is primary key identity. So if you guys need to make, if you guys did see this is why I didn't create it. I ignored it. Sorry. If you did the same like this, make the identity specification true and did like this, what you can do is in the code level, when you hit the save button, you don't need to pass this ID. Okay. That's how you make it. So if it goes inside your database, it automatically gives you an ID number. It goes like that. So you don't need to provide this ID text here. So that's how it works. So make sure to do. You can do. So since I'm giving this code to you guys, I'll just copy it again, paste it here. Now it won't create because I have already created the database. I don't know why it's giving me an error. Maybe because of SQL services for you. And what you can do is you can omit this ID section here. So I put a so, oh, so sorry, I can't run it now and show you because I'm getting an error. It must be an SQL error. It says that saving time require the following table for completed. Okay, so I need to drop this table and repeat. Okay. So ID, name, address, select. So this is how we drop the table. We just right click and delete it, which will delete the table. Actually. So it's gone now. We just create the table here. ID, name, address. Okay, now we need to make this a final key. Table name. Now we have this table. Now we will be able to see how generated it is. Fingers crossed. Let's see how it goes. Instead of this query, we'll secure. We don't need to provide an ID. So we need to provide an ID. Test it. Something goes. So it has created a yeah, it has automatically created the ID number one. And go inside the table. Also, you can see the ID. Hope I have answered your question, right? Is there anything I need to show you? how to do any other stuff. Number 58, are you okay with the method I showed you? Yeah. Okay. Welcome. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's how you do the database operations. So now you need to provide the ID here and update whatever the stuff you want. So that also you can redo. As of now, I think I have covered all the CRUD operations. What you guys really need to know: save, update, delete, and show all, and show one record of everything. And now I'll just show you guys how to do the pretty advanced stuff. And say what you can do is, so there's a thing called model, right? If you guys doing so, as I explained earlier, there's a model class which will hold only property names here, and other things. So this is similar to your table. So don't mismatch your names or ID or values or anything here. So if it is INT ID, also make sure to make the ID the INT in the SQL table as well. After that, what you need to do is there's a thing called repo. So you can give whatever the name you want here, repo, business logic, database operation, whatever the name you want, but the code inside that is the method. So what we do is, so in this examples, we build our code inside this, form, right? When we press this double click and we have like all these codes, and when we press the update button, we have all these commands, here we grab all the values here and yeah, this is one way we do. This is the very basic way. This is like the very small, simple thing where we can do to get the values and update the query. That's it. So it works well. So no one is crying. So we are happy. Everyone is happy, right? But in industry, when you go inside the big projects and all, there everything is based on double OP concept. So now you have created inside this insert query, you just created a record, right? When you created a record, it means you have created a new teacher object inside the table. So when it comes to object, you can't just go ahead and send this data inside the object and how do you call it? The object is where you can handle the code. For example, say this name.txt. You can assign this name.txt inside this, for example, the student name property. You can directly assign it there. If there's a teach object, you can create the teach object and we can assign it here. So that way, what it makes is it makes the code to look, bit easy for the C# backend language, and it will execute that code efficiently. So if you guys wrote all these insert queries inside this and execute that, it will create a mess. Like if you miss in any spellings or anything, it will really make a mess. So in order to omit those kind of issues, we use double OP concepts in our programming language. We create an object model here, and we create a post, like I would like to call it reports. So I created a post repo here. So where I have all the methods written clearly, and I have clearly mentioned what needs to be done and what need to be passed in here. So this is pretty much clear than other code, right? The other code is a bit messy, but it's basic. You can understand it. But this code, whenever you leave a company, if you write this code, a new guy can come here and say, yeah, we have a get all method and it returns all the courses to the list and it will pass all the list to the data table. So that's how it works. So I think, yeah, it's pretty much the same like that, but we are doing it in advanced. So I'll just show you how to access this repository. So in order to access this repository, we have like a connection string mentioned here. We don't have any mentioned connection string here. What we do is we create a equal sign and we put a connection string. You can put in the connection string here. So whenever you access this post repository, and you can just pass in the post like this. So for example, say you did a post field, and you hit the save button, you double click it. What you need to do is you need to create an instance of the course object. How do you do this? Create course, new course. This is how you create a new object, and you pass in your name, post name here. How you get the txt name.txt.text, and what else we have? Yeah, we only have name for this course. Yes, we don't have. So for example, say description, author, something like this. We can have all kind of properties whatever we need. So we can come here and put description, and in what text we have the description. We don't have it right now. This dot text like this you can put. So you can grab all those stuffs and create a object of this course class. After you do that, what you do is you call the repository here. We call it we can call this, since this class is public, we can call this class anywhere in our code. So this is the main reason why we use access modifiers, public, private, unknown. If it is private, we can't call it anywhere in the code. So we can only call inside the class. So if we call this class repository, post repository, you can create an object here, the post repository, when it started the project. You can create an instance like this. So when the course view screen is loaded, this course view repository is also creating instant there. So that way we have an instant of course view repository there. So inside this course view repository, we have our create method, right? We have all our methods calling there. So when you just paste in the course string repository name here and press create, you have the create method there. And you need to pass in the course object here. You just do this in your screen. This way, if there's an attack in your code, attacker can't see your actual business logic. So this is like pretty basic, I can say. So this way the code is very clean. The code is very more loose coupled. Loose coupled means in database, in software engineering, we loosely coupled highly constant codes we need to create and not. So that way we are achieving that as well, which makes the application works faster. So that's the main reason why we use object-oriented programming. This way, when we have created an object now, we have passed the object inside the course inside this create repository create method. So once this method is got hit, it will come inside this post repository and it will trigger this post swap. After that, it will execute this bunch of block. So this block, what it does is there is a thing called using in C#. The using one, what it does is, so when we open the connection, we closed it, right? In the previous one, we opened the connection called con.open and we do the transaction and we close. With this using command, whatever the thing we are used inside this database queries, we don't need to really close. C# will automatically close with this command. So this also enables us to clean up our code really well and keep the code work really fast. And so that's how we do this. So inside this using, we need to pass in whatever SQL connection we need to do, and we need to pass in the connection string. We have the connection string here. The connection string will be automatically assigned to this connection string using this constructor. I think this is pretty much advanced for you guys, but just have this idea. I'm just going to give you all these, files. You can just go through this and create a post table and views and add all those stuffs to their screen and see, and use these debuggers to see where it hits and all. So that's how it works with the object oriented pattern. I think this is pretty much advanced for you, but please do it this way because when you do with double OP, when you do anything with double OP concept, it will give you more knowledge than doing it in the raw way, which means the basic thing. So, so forgive me because I'm not going to show you how to create a UI for this course and do the everything from scratch again because it's going to take another 2 or 3 hours. It will drag until 12 or 1 a.m. So I don't want to do that. I just went through all these tasks. So is there anything else you guys need to clarify with developing concepts? Or if there's any other doubts also, you can ask. Uh, yeah. So before I say this, you can I'm gonna wind up the session right now because I think I have covered everything. I have covered the crowd operation. I have shown you guys how to do it. This is the pretty advanced way, which I didn't create the UIs because if I created it and showed you guys, it will drag another 2 hours. So we don't need to do that. If you guys really need this one, please ask Madam to create another session for this one. Then I can explain how double OP concept works inside this Windows application. So that way it will be useful for you guys as well. So do you guys have any questions? So this is like the end of this session. So you guys can ask any questions you. I'll give you 5 minutes to think about questions and ask any questions you really need to be clarified. And if you guys need any clarifications, you can ask. No problem. I'm like your brother, one of your seniors. So you can ask whatever you want. I'm not gonna do any, ragging on you. So you just ask what you want. Um, hey guys, is there anyone who can ask any meaningful question related to your project? Or else are you guys sleeping? Because I don't see anyone, replying. And some guys have already left before I officially wind up the session because Nishani madam is gonna be within 1 or 2 minutes here in this meeting, and she is gonna, I think, count the heads who are in this session. So please tell your friends to rejoin. So if she comes, she'll find out that there are people missing in session, right? Okay, guys, you have like it is 9:35 right now. You have up to 9:40. You can like ask questions you want, whatever the things you want. Just to that. ඔයාලා කාට හරි ලැන්ග්වේජ් එක අවුල් නම් ඒකත් අවුලක් නෑ නිකන් සිංහලෙන් හරි මැසේජ් එකක් දාන්න මම රිප්ලයි කරන්නම් ඒකට. even if you ඒ කියන්නේ මේ සිංහල දන්නේ නැත්නම් තමිල් හරි අවුලක් නෑ තමිල් එකෙන් හරි අහන්න මම මේ ආන්සර් එකට රිප්ලයි කරන්න. like question එකට රිප්ලයි කරන්න. There is no any language barriers. but language අවුල් නම් අවුලක් නෑ. කෙලිම සිංහලෙන් අහන්න ඕන දෙයක් මම කියලා දෙන්න. Okay, guys. I think that's it from my end. Thank you for your queries. Who have asked the question, thank you, guys, and hope you guys had a really good session. If you think this session is a bit fast and you didn't understand anything, please tell it to Nishani, madam. Please forward your. Okay. No, thanks, man.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and ask anything.
බාකෝඩ්ස් හරි QR හරි මේ ඕකට ඇඩ් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා.
ඔයාලට එහෙමත් කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් මේ මැඩම් කිව්වා මේ ඔයාලට කිසි දෙයක් දන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. එහෙමද? ඔයාලට කිසි දෙයක් දන්නේ නැද්ද? මේ කියන්නේ මේ මේක් ගැන desktop application development ගැන. සර් ගණනේ.
බේසික් අර ෆෝම්
හරි බේසික් එක අවුලක් නැහැ ඒක හරි දැන් ඔයාලා මෙහෙමයි ඔයාලා ෆස්ට් ඔෆ් ඕල් මොනවාද කරන්න යන ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක කියලා මේ ඔයාලගේ අයිඩියා එකක් තියෙනවද දැනට දැන් මේක ගෲප් ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් යන්නේ එහෙනම් ඔයාලට අයිඩියා එකක් තියෙනවද for example මේක POS application නම් එතකොට barcode එක එතනට එන්නේ ඒ වගේ library management නම් එතන barcode එකක් අපිට use කරන්න පුළුවන් හරිද ඊට පස්සේ ඔයාලට කොහොමද ඒක ඉම්ප්ලිමන්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා ඔයා අහුවොත් මට කියන්න පුළුවන් like first of all you need to have a barcode scanner barcode scanner එකක් අවශ්‍යයි ඊට පස්සේ ඔයාට ඕනේ barcode scan කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියන කෝඩ් එකනේ ඒකට ඔයාට තියෙනවා bunch of මම අර SQL data.client කියලා මේකක් පෙන්වුවානේ package එකක් ඒ වගේ තව ගොඩාක් packages තියෙනවා ඒ වගේ මම හිතන්නේ package එකක් මාකර් එකක් use කරලා ඒකට අදාළ codes ටිකක් තියේ යාලගේ documentation එකෙන් නානේ ඒක ඔයාලට බලාගෙන කෙලින්ම ඒක implement කරන්න පුළුවන් product එකකට barcode generate කරලා ඒක scan කරලා ඒ product එක dashboard එකට ගන්න වගේ ඒ වගේ වැඩ කරන්න පුළුවන් ඔයාලට desktop application එක ඕන වැඩක් කරන්න පුළුවන් barcode is one of the ඒක පොඩි ඇඩ්වාන්ස් මේකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙහෙමයි එයාලා barcode එහෙම ඇඩ් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද එහෙම කියලා අහන්නේ ඔයාලගේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක පොඩ්ඩක් අර value එක වැඩි කරන්න. value එක වැඩි කරනවා නම් ඔයාලගේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකට automatically marks හම්බ වෙනවා. ඒ වගේ සීන් එකක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ. දැන් මගේ group project එකේ මම තමයි මේ වැඩ ටික කරේ. අපේ group එකේ කට්ටිය ඔක්කොටම අපි වැඩ separate කරලා දුන්නා. හරිද? ඒකේ අපි barcode මොකුත් use කරේ නැහැ. අපි මම පොඩි algorithm එකක් ගෙනුවා. algorithm කියන්නේ මම project එකක් කරා football clubs තියෙනවානේ football clubs වලට මේ කොහොමද මේ players ලා 11 players first 11 team එකක් කොහොම හරි සෙල්ලම් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒක first 11 players ලා කොහොම automatically system generated data වලින් system අපේ application එකම automatically කොහොමද best 11 players ලා අඳුරගන්නේ කියලා පොඩි algorithm එකක් ගෙන්න. ඒකට තමයි අපිට ගොඩක් මේ marks add වුණේ. නිකන් අර student ලා add කරන්නයි මේ books add කරන්න ඒ වගේ පොඩි CRUD operation වලට එච්චරටම marks හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයාලා කොහොම හරි මේ ටික කොහොම හරි basic stuffs ටික ගොඩ දාගෙන කොහොම හරි මොකක් හරි අලුත් දෙයක් ඉම්ප්ලිමන්ට් කරන්නම බලන්න ඕනේ. ඒ මැඩම් අහලා තියන්නේ barcode එක normally හැමෝම කරන එක. අන්න project එකේම කරනවා. දැන් ඔයාලා දැන්නේ පටන් ගන්න තියෙන්නේ. දැන් ඔයාලා මාසයක් වෙනකොට ගොඩක් search කරයි. මේ කොහොමද කරන්නේ එතකොට ඔයාලට හම්බ වෙයි කොහොමද codes ටික connect කරන්නේ ඔක්කොම. දැන් ඉඳන් පටන් ගන්න මේ වැඩේ කරන්න නැත්තම් අමාරුයි. හරිද? Do you understand?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, any other questions? තව දෙයක් තියෙනවා මේ අනිවාර්යෙන් ඔයාලා project එක කරනකොට project එකේ දැන් කොහොමත් user part එකක් එනවනේ login screen එකක් ඇවිල්ලා user log වෙන්න ඔක්කොම කරන්න ඒ part ටික ඒක විතරක් හරි double op concept එකක් use කරලා අනිවාර්යෙන් කරන්න. හරිද? නැත්තම් මේ දැන් POS system නැත්තම් library management system මොකක් හරි එකක් කවුරු හරි කරනවා කියනකො ඒකේ book කියන part එක book එකේ කොහොමද save වෙන්නේ update වෙන්නේ delete වෙන්නේ ඒ part එක අනිවාර්යෙන් object oriented concept එකක් use කරලා එක model එකක් හරි කරන්න මොකද ඔයාලා මොකක් එකක් advance use කරනවා කියලා use කරලා තියෙනවා කියලා පෙන්වන්න කොහොම හරි මැඩම්ට පොඩ්ඩක් convince කරන්න හරි ඒක එකක් හරි කරලා තියන්න. එතකොට තමයි ඔයාලට marks හම්බෙන්නේ. නැත්තම් මේ පොඩි මේකක් CRUD එකක් ගහගෙන ගියා කියලා කොහොමද marks හම්බෙන්නේ? meaningful project එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ වගේම මොකක් හරි අලුත් දෙයක් ඒකේ තියෙන්න. හරිද? මේ ඔයාලගේ තව project related questions තියෙනවා නම් මැඩම්ට කියලා පොඩ්ඩක් තව session එකක් හරි මොකක් හරි එකක් organize කරගන්න. පුළුවන් මට වෙලා තිබ්බනම් මම ජොයින් වෙලා ඔයාලට කියලා දෙන්න. ඉස්සෙල්ලාම මට I apologize from you guys because මං ආපු ගමන් කෙලින්ම ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් පටන් අරගෙන ගියා. මං හිතුවා අවුලක් නැහැ කියලා. ඔයාලත් yes madam කිව්ව ගමන් මං හිතුවා අවුලක් නැහැ කියලා. මේ මං පටන් අරන් ගියා language barriers කියන අහන්න පොඩ්ඩක් බැරි වුණා. ඔයාලට මොකක් හරි මේ ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් කරපු එක පොඩ්ඩක් අවුල්ද? ඒක පොඩ්ඩක් කියන්නකෝ මම. එතකොට මම පොඩ්ඩක් මොකක් හරි shape එක කියලා කියන්න. ඒක අවුල්ද? මේ තනිකර ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් කරපු එක. just put a message. ඒක පොඩි message එකක් දාන්න. අවුල් නෑ කියලා හරි පොඩි message එකක් දාන්න. හරි එහෙනම් මම අවුල් නෑ කියලා ගන්න. මං හිතුවා Actually, හරි. Okay, bit fast නේ. හරි මෙහෙමයි. මැඩම් කිව්වා ඔයාලට බේසික් අයිඩියාස් තියෙනවා කියලා. ඒකයි මම පොඩ්ඩක් අර පැත්ත පොඩ්ඩක් කරගෙන ගියේ ඉංග්‍රීසි පොඩ්ඩක් fast නේ. හරි. හරි මම මෙහෙම කරන්නද මම පොඩි වීඩියෝ එකක් කරන්න රෙකෝඩ් කරලා රෙකෝඩ් ක්‍රඩ් ඔපරේෂන් එක කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා පොඩි වීඩියෝ එකක් සිංහලෙන් රෙකෝඩ් කරලා මම මැඩම්ට සෙන්ඩ් කරන්න. හරිනේ. එතකොට මේ සේම් සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක මම සිංහලෙන් ස්ලෝ කරලා මම මැඩම්ට ෆෝවර්ඩ් කරන්න. ඒක ඔයාලට ඕන නම් ඒක බලා ගන්න. නැත්නම් මේ සිංහලෙන් ටියුටෝරියල්ස් තියෙනවා YouTube එකේ ඕන තරම්. ඒකත් ඔයාලට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. කොහොමත් මම මේ කෝඩ් මේ මම දැන් කරපු මේ කෝඩ් එක තියෙනවනේ. ඒ කෝඩ් එක මම ඔයාලට කොහොමත් මේ මැඩම්ට මම දැන් ෆෝවර්ඩ් කරන එක මැඩම් උත් ඒක දෙයි. ඒක දුන්නාන් පස්සේ ඒක ඔයා ඕගොල්ලන් පොඩ්ඩක් බලාගෙන ඒක කරන්න. මට මේක ඉස්සෙල්ලාම අහන්න මේ අමාරුනේ sorry sorry guys, I'm really sorry for that because I wasn't able to ask the language barriers from you guys. හරි එහෙනම් thank you for your time. Thank you for your attendance guys. So I hope you guys learned something new, and for some guys it's a bit hard you said right, so I apologize for that and I'll inform madam. Thank you guys, really thank you. Hope you guys wish you guys all the best for your projects and your exams in future. See you guys, bye.